career opportunities and job seeking skills. Chapter 102. Let's get into it. Okay, so the only terminology we got to know is about the nurses register. And then you got these acronyms over here we need to know. EHS, the HCO, and the PCO. And then right here is the learning objective. Read those on your own. Now I'm going to be reading straight out of my new book. Shit always changing, so I'm going to stay in the book. Okay, but I'm going to be back and forth, back and forth. As graduation approaches, graduation is how many days away? 15 days. So, as graduation approaches, decisions about future career plans enter the picture, right? So, that's what we're going to be talking about in this chapter. And we're going to be, uh, this chapter is going to describe the employment, the selected employment opportunities available to a licensed practical nurse or to the LVN, and suggestions for securing the bag. Okay, so employment opportunities. Employment opportunities. Most graduates of nursing programs, well, most graduates of nursing programs seek employment ASAP after graduation. This may be the first step in a career of a means to earn money for additional education. Okay, so you're gonna be trying to get that bank for additional education, and especially in order to pay for it if you run out of financial aid and shit like that. After graduation or after graduating from an approved nursing program, arrangements are made to take the NCLEX licensing examination to practice as a registered nurse or the LPN. We learned that in chapter 101. In some of these states, though, the student may apply for tests near the end of the program if he or she is reasonably expected to graduate. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's the www.bls.gov /OOH /healthcare. In the year of 2014, they said employment of LPN is projected to grow much faster than average for all occupations. Approximately 25% is what they believe. Between 2013 and 2022. That's y'all. They're talking about this in the book. Overall, job perspectives are expected to be very good. Okay? They're expected to be very, very good. But job outlooks varies by location. The best job opportunities will occur in long-term nursing facilities. That's 29%. In medical providers' offices, it's going to be about 12%. In home healthcare services is about 11%. Although about 20% will also be employed in the hospital. So you add all that up, there should be like 100% right there. So demand for nurses, particularly LPNs, will be driven by the increase in the share of the older population. This source goes on to state that median annual wage of an LPN were $41,540 in May 2014. The highest 10% earned more than $57,300. That ain't enough. That ain't enough for what I'm trying to do. See now, in the old book, those numbers change. In the new book, look at the new book. It's not no 39,000 like it says right here. That hell no, that ain't enough. These statistics vary in different parts of the country and in different types of facilities. The individual nurse will need to explore employment opportunities in the area of the country where he or she prefers work. Okay. And let's talk about the entry level role. The LPN role differs slightly in each state and in every facility. Currently, most are traditionally employed as members of the healthcare team, working with registered nurses. We're going to work with physicians and other primary healthcare providers. A number of LPNs are also receiving special education preparation to assume advanced positions or to become that big bank registered nurse. Numbers of nurses. Demand for LPNs continues. That's in the U.S. Well, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. In 2020, there are approximately 700, oh shit, 738,400 employed in the United States. A lot of women there, or a lot of men and women. Although the overall numbers of students in the PM program has declined slightly, number of students in PM, well, shit, slightly. The total number of employed LPNs is expected to increase to over 900,000 by 2018. Virtually all graduates can find jobs if they want to work, if they want to work. According to the National Federation of Licensed Practice for Practical Nurses, that's NFLPN.org. We learned about that in chapter 101. The National Council of State Board of Nursing, that's the NCSBN.org, states that nearly 34,000 new LPNs were licensed in 2003. The same year, there were nearly 4.1 million total nurses licensed in the U.S. states, well, yeah, in the United States, of which more than 880,000 were LP. Let's talk about these grown ass men and nurses. Until the mid 1800s, nursing was a male dominated profession. Y'all know that. It used to be all about the boys, it used to be all about the men, okay? Then, during the U.S. Civil War, men were needed in the army, and women took over nursing roles. More men are again entering nursing with about 6 to 10% of all nurses being male. That ain't shit. However, this is rapidly changing with 14 to 16% of students in basic nursing programs in 2008 being men. Okay, then, men, come through then. Although most of these male students are in RN preparing programs, the number in LPN programs is also increasing. That's according to the University of Minnesota of Nursing. That was in 2008. So let's talk about these general employment opportunities. The ECF, which is Extended Care Facilities of various types, are a major source of new jobs for LPNs as well as for RNs. Continued and rapid growth is expected in nursing homes, boarding care homes, and community group homes. These areas include extended care for seniors and people with disabilities. Projections are projections are that a greater percentage of jobs in these areas will continue to be filled by LPNs rather than RNs. Other non-hospital settings will also provide expanded employment for LPNs. These include areas such as the home care, community health centers, same-day surgery, physician offices, and schools. Some hospitals are hiring LPNs, although hospitals reflect the slowest growth for employment of all nurses, including LPNs. Elderly, well, right here in the book, in the old book, it talks about a key concept, and it says employment opportunities for nurses are growing at the highest rate in extended care for seniors and people with disabilities, community health care, ambulatory surgery, and nursing and home care. So that's basically what I just read in our book. They just didn't make it a key concept. So look in your new book and you'll see something like that and go ahead and highlight it. Now, elderly care and rehab. Because of the continued growth of the senior citizens, various segments of long-term and elderly care are rapidly expanding. So look at figure 102. And then it also say go back to chapter 96. They talk about it there. So if you look at figure 102-1, a large percentage of new LPNs and RNs will be employed um, in elderly care, assisted living, skills, nursing facilities, and nursing homes. Many other LPNs will find employment in areas such as rehab centers, schools, group homes, and other community-based facilities. Okay, so they include extended care facilities, including nursing homes and assisted living facilities, as well as a retirement community. Okay. Many older citizens, as well as younger folk, also receives rehab and nursing services, either in their own home or they're going to go to a rehab center. Many staff positions for all levels of nurses are available, and these ambulatory and home care services as extended care facilities. As the level of client acuity in these facilities increases, nurses will have many opportunities to use their medical, surgical, and advanced nursing skills. A number of specialized opportunities are available to the LPN in an extended care facility. This nurse may be employed as, so I'm right here, may be employed as a med nurse, well, medication nurse, treatment nurse, IV nurse, a charge nurse or nurse manager, a client advocate or a case manager, staff development person, and assistant director of nursing. So that's the number of specialized opportunities that are available to LPNs in an extended care facility. This nurse may be employed as a medication nurse, a treatment nurse, an IV nurse, a charge nurse or nurse manager, a client and advocate case manager, a staff development person, and assistant director of nursing. Some of these positions do not require further education beyond the basic practical nursing program or may require only in-service education. Okay, so that's the national certification is available for LPNs in gerontology, pharmacology, and IV therapy. Hospitals. Hospitals. Nurses find positions in hospitals as staff nurses giving bedside care and performing various nursing procedures. In many cases, the new graduate will not have priority and may not be able to work immediately in the preferred area or at the preferred time of routine. As stated previously, hospital nursing in general is not expanding as fast as other types of healthcare. That's because they really don't want our ass up in there. Like they want us, but they don't want us. Like they really do not hire LPNs in certain hospitals. I think it's a lot in Belgium. You can't go into the hospitals as a so the LPN may be employed in a specialized area of the hospital or may function in a specialized role. This often requires additional education or training. Examples include special procedures, behavior emergency response team, IV team, phlebotomy nurse, dermatology services, hospice unit, treatment nurse, med nurse, emergency department or urgent care nurse, psychiatric nurse, or clinic nurse. That is all. These are often, you say this often requires additional educational training examination for the hospital. So special procedure, behavior emergency response team, IV team, phlebotomy nurse, gerontology nurse, hospice unit, treatment nurse, med nurse, or urgent care nurse, psychiatry nurse, or clinic nurse. Is the LPN may be employed in a specialized area of the hospital or may function in specialized roles. So those are going to be some specialized roles or just a specialized area where a LPN can go in a hospital. I know they have them in Brentwood. Home care. A growing number of nurses, both registered nurses and LPNs, are finding employment in home care. The certified public health nurse, PHN, is an RN with a baccalaureate degree. PHN supervises other nurses and unlicensed assistant personnel, such as a home health aide and homemaker. Each client must have a designated case manager, usually required to be an RN. The case manager makes the initial evaluation visit. Remember, the case manager, they're going to make the initial evaluation visit, admits clients to the service, and writes a nursing care plan. He or she then assists other nurses and the UAT makes regular assessment visits to evaluate client progress, other caregivers, and update nursing care plans. The LPN may be employed in home care to deliver routine daily care. In some cases, this nurse supervises AP and volunteer caregivers. Wow, there are volunteer caregivers out there, ain't that so? That's so sweet. Um, right here somewhere. Volunteer caregivers. Home health nursing requires high independent motivation and a sense of professionalism. These nurses often work alone. Now you can go back to chapter 98 to see that. And home care is a career opportunity for experienced nurses, and it's not recommended for new guidelines. A key concept to remember: home care is a career opportunity for experienced nurses. It's not recommended for new graduates. It's not recommended for new graduates. And I said new guidelines. I meant new graduates. That's the key concept that we can highlight in there. I will highlight it. Oh, this one. Hold on. Oh, highlight it. Oh, so bad. All right. So highlight that. Although this has not, highlight home care is a career opportunity for experienced nurses and is not recommended to grads. So don't think you're gonna get a job and I don't know, shit always changing. So the key word is recommended. It ain't recommended for your new ass. But it ain't like they gonna cop like and say hell no. It's just not recommended. Community health centers. More and more US healthcare is being provided in community health centers. In many cases, these centers provide all primary health care for a family or for most residents of a neighborhood. Although this has not been a primary source of employment for LPNs in the past, opportunities are expanding as the centers are growing in number and importance. You can go back to chapter 99 and look at that in the new group, 98 in the old group. Private duty and travel nursing. Ooh, let's get into it. This is interesting. Private duty nurse cares for one client in his or her home. A private duty nurse, highlight that. Private duty nurse, they're going to care for one client in his or her home, an institution, or during travel, but rarely in a hospital. This is often paid directly by the client or family. I'm going to highlight that shit too. This is a private duty, rarely in the hospital, rarely. Insurance usually, they not covering this shit. The private duty nurses, they usually do not cover it. Not saying that all of them don't, but they usually do not cover this service. Private duty nursing offers the opportunity to practice basic bedside and teaching skills and to meet one's client's total needs. I think this would be excellent for them folk that got right. Because this practice area often includes care for clients with long-term illnesses or those who are physically or emotionally challenged. Private duty often offers nurses long-term employment. A number of agencies recruit nurses for private duty or as travel companions for elderly or disabled clients. The nurse working as a travel companion may be on duty all the time, okay? All the time. In addition, I don't want to be this nurse. In addition, travel nurse agencies recruit nurses to work in understaffed parts of the country. In this case, a bonus. Ooh, I like that. In addition, travel nurse agencies they recruit nurses to work in understaffed parts of the country. In this case, a bonus, moving expense, and a monthly housing allowance may be paid. Who get paid? Young Negro get paid. Paid. Um, young Caucasian Americans get paid. In some cases, nurses are recruited to follow snowbirds going south for the winter. So this nurse has an opportunity to travel and earn money at the same time. Employment may be contracted for 2 to 5 months, sometimes longer. The travel nurse may work with an individual client or in a healthcare facility. I like that. The travel nurse, they're going to work with an individual client or in a healthcare facility. Hospice nursing involves providing end of life or advanced illness care and is located in hospitals, long term care facilities, other sites, hotel shelters, or prisons. Oh shit. Damn, I keep get better with that. Right here. I just read all of that. You want to pause? Go back. I don't think my book said nothing about that. Yeah, it did. All that if you want to. I highlighted this last sentence. Travel nurse may work with an individual client or in a healthcare facility. Now we right here, hospice care. This is what nurse type. Hospice care. Hospice nursing involves providing end of life or advanced illness care and is located in the hospital, it's located in long-term care facilities, other sites such as hotels, shelters, or even prison, or the client's home. Lord, so they do this in hotel shelters or prison. They just not gonna let that person go home. Well, it depends. If I was fucked up, you did something gruesome, don't nobody give a fuck. You gonna keep your ass, like keep your hospital looking ass locked up. In rare cases, a client is in the hospital or hospice facility. That's rare. In rare cases, the client is in a hospital or hospice facility. Because a lot of people want to die at home. Um, Hospice nurses help clients and their families work through final stages of life. The goal, I will highlight the goal. The goal of hospice is to help clients die with dignity and to assist family members in the loss of their loved ones. That's chapter 100. Nurses working in a nurses working in a home care agency may encounter hospice clients as part of a regular caseload. In some agencies, the hospice program is separate and employs its own staff. For nurses working in a home care agency may encounter hospice clients as part of a regular caseload. In some agencies, the hospice program is separate and employs its own staff. Substance abuse programs. They need us there too, y'all. Substance abuse disorders, that's chemical dependency, CD. Programs allow the nurse to assist in treatment and rehab of clients who misuse drugs, alcohol, and other substances. I kind of like these. I might do something like this. Let me highlight this. The store bag. I hope they got something like that down here for us. These nurses may work in hospitals. They may work in private treatment centers or detoxification centers, aka detox centers. Remember that detoxification, particularly from alcohol, that shit can be life threatening and requires a high degree of nursing competence. So don't think that you're going to help somebody, that you're going to be assigned with alcohol. That shit is worse than getting off drugs, and that shit is legal. It is worse than getting off drugs. Trust me, I know. I don't know it from experience. I know it from family, close family. These areas employ nurses at all levels to function as nurses, group leaders, and substance use disorder counselors. In many cases, employees are themselves recover recovering from a substance use issue. No, so I guess they gonna hire somebody that's had an addiction. It ain't me, but I still put in a job application. Mental health, mental health nursing. This is what I like. I like the substance and the mental health. But let me stay on track. Mental health and psychiatric settings provide opportunities for employment of both RNs and LPNs. Y'all know it was LPNs and both RNs at Brentwood. These settings include state run institutions, psychiatric unit housed in acute care facilities, freestanding psychiatric hospitals, clinics, day treatment or partial treatment programs, specialized group homes and community mental health centers. Some long-term care facilities also have specialized units for adults with mental health concerns, including dementia in some facilities such as long-term or state treatment centers. The length of stay may be several months or longer. This allows the nurse to work with clients on a long-term basis. Community mental health is a growing field. Some community mental health centers are designed to treat clients with the dual diagnosis of mental illness and substance use disorders, MICD. In some cities, crisis nurses make home visits to clients with mental health and psychiatric problems. That's in some cities, crisis nurses. They're going to make home visits to clients with mental health and psychiatric problems. Psychiatric problems. Okay. Some community mental health centers are designed to treat with dual diagnosis. Uh, I'm gonna highlight that dual diagnosis of mental illness and substance use disorders. Moving on, that was um, this is gonna be right here. It's gonna start right here in the new book. It has a heading: assisting children with disabilities. Nurses also have opportunities for employment with developmentally delayed and intellectually challenged children and adults in institutions, group homes, and schools. The employment of nurses to work with mainstream children in schools is a growing field. In many cases, a child with severe disability requires meds as well as treatments such as oxygen, ventilator care, or chest physiotherapy. In some cases, funds cover 1 to 2 nursing care. One-to-one nursing care while children are at school. In other cases, nursing care is funded 24 hours. It's funded 24 hours a day. Residential treatment center. Nurses may find employment in specialized residential treatment centers or group homes that serve specific client populations. In addition to substance use disorders programs, the nurse might be employed in a group home for persons who are developmentally delayed or intellectually challenged, or those who have a chronic and persistent mental illness, the CPMI. Employment is also available in halfway houses for clients discharged from psychiatric hospitals or other treatment centers, but who are still unable to live independently. Many of these facilities have a licensed nurse on duty for at least part of the day. Nursing functions include supervision of the setup and administration of meds and provision of first aid care. That's for the residential treatment centers. So let me see how, in addition to substance disorder program, the nurse might be employed. That's why I'm going to highlight. In addition to substance use disorder programs, the nurse might be employed in a group home for persons who are developmentally delayed or intellectually challenged, or those who have a chronic and persistent mental illness. So I will highlight that. Never knew that. I have to ask the person that I know that's in the halfway house. I'll try this. Correctional facilities. Many large jails employ nurses, RNs, and LPNs who monitor inmates with special needs, such as those who may be contemplating suicide or who receive meds on a regular basis. These nurses also assist with diabetic management and teaching. They perform routine health screenings and provide health related counseling. If an inmate appears too physically or mentally ill to be managed in jail. The nurse consults a healthcare provider for referral to a hospital. Nurses also may teach classes on topics such as sexual education or sex education, safer sex, nutrition, and healthy lifestyles. In some cases, support groups are also included. Now, who the hell they? Never mind. I ain't gonna say that. So, what I would highlight from that, these nurses also assist with prisons and many large jails employ nurses, LPNs to monitor inmates with special needs, such as those who contemplate suicide or dead. These nurses, blah, blah, blah. If an inmate appears to die, nurses also may, in some cases, support groups are also included. I think that's common sense. I ain't gonna highlight that. I ain't highlighting the whole damn thing. I would just highlight the heading, correctional facility, because that's all of that is important. Position office. That's where a lot of people want to go to. It's hard to get up in there. Good. A lot of people get that job. They don't go no damn well. They retire from it. It ain't gonna be. Nurses are often employed in the physician office or clinic to assist with the physical exams, dressings, and minor surgical procedures and to perform routine screenings such as hearing, vision, CPR, blood pressure, including orthostatic evaluation, oxygen saturation, blood glucose, bladder scans, height and weight, and level of pain. Nurses often are involved in medication teaching and lifestyle counseling. In addition to nursing skills, clinic duties may include answering telephones, making appointments, assisting clients with examination rooms, performing some lab tests or simple x-rays, processing items for billing, keyboarding letters, and serving as a receptionist. Computer skills are usually required. Office nurses may be skilled in triage, so clients receive necessary care in a timely manner. Many clinic nurses in physicians' offices or LPNs. Work is usually during daytime and may include part of the weekend, but usually does not involve evenings, nights, Sundays, or holidays. So I would highlight definitely that last sentence. Work usually is going to occur during the daytime hours. It may include part of the weekend, not the full weekend, just some, just because you got to do some phone calls on the weekend, but usually does not involve evenings, nights, or Sundays, and not even holidays. They don't shut them down for the holidays. Praise God. So it's a lot. It's a lot that they do in physician office, as y'all have already did. Ambulatory day surgery clinic. Many clients go to ambulatory surgery clinics for surgical procedures. Some of these procedures are fairly extensive and require the nurse to be skilled in pre and post op care and inclined in family teaching. In addition, the nurse in ambulatory day surgery often assists the surgeon during the surgical procedure. The nurse calls the client before and calls the client before the procedure to make sure he or she is properly prepared and does not have additional questions. In addition, this nurse performs telephone follow-up after client return home. Nurses in day surgery may be LPNs. Hours are usually Monday to Friday. Although the nurse may begin work very early in the morning, in many cases, the surgical schedule is completed by midday or early afternoon. That's the good thing about it. You may have to get your ass up at 4, maybe even 5, or probably earlier. It's something like whatever kind of doctor wants that person to come in. But at least your ass getting off at noon. Go to bed at night so you get your ass up in the morning. So I would highlight um hours are usually Monday to Friday. I would highlight the last sentence. Although nurses may begin work very early in the morning, that one. So you can know that this is an ambulatory, aka or a day surgery clinic. Okay. That was all good. I highlighted this right here. Health maintenance organization, third party payers. I'm saying I'll pay. Yeah, I should. They look like mayors, so I'm gonna say pay. Employment for LPNs exist in the area of pre-approval or reimbursement for healthcare. Health maintenance organization, insurance companies, and other third-party payers. Third-party payers train these nurses to research each client's healthcare needs to determine if the cost of a particular surgical or diagnostics test can be paid by the company. This claims analyst works with physicians and other healthcare professionals to ensure that quality care is given in the most cost-effective manner. This is primarily a sedentary position, so they're just going to be sitting at a computer, making telephone calls, faxing, and emailing. In some cases, the analyst will visit the healthcare facility to interview healthcare personnel or clients or to review client records. Hours are most often during the day, Monday through Friday, not including holidays. That sounds like a damn good job. Damn, I do that. I would do that, baby. I'm gonna start by this because I'm gonna look it up on YouTube. It's called Health Maintenance Organization Third Party Payers. So what I would highlight is this primarily a sedentary position involving extensive use of the computer, telephone, fax, and email. And in some cases, the analyst will visit the healthcare facility to interview healthcare personnel or clients or receive client records. I would definitely highlight this. Let's talk about telehealth. Telehealth, or let's talk about telehealth. So telephone nursing or telehealth is a growing area of nursing employment. In some states, this field is limited to RNs. Third party payers and health maintenance organization often provide the service in the form of nurse lines often, or dial a nurse using computerized triage system. Clients call about symptoms and with questions, and nurses answer questions and make appropriate referrals, following carefully prescribed computerized protocols. It's going to be something that we're going to highlight. Many telehealth systems include a medical information library with educational material available for members. Referrals to primary providers or community health centers may also be made. So it says often members can access services through the telehealth website as well. If the telehealth program is run by a third party payer, services may pre-approve care for insurance purposes. Crisis lines and suicidal prevention lines are other examples of telehealth. Wow, I'm gonna highlight this. Crisis lines, suicide lines. These are other examples of telehealth. Hmm. Many such services are available 24 hours a day. Goals of telehealth programs include cost effectiveness, increased medication compliance, decreased physicians and emergency room visits, and zero rehospitalization. Telehealth is particularly valuable in remote areas where residents have limited access to primary healthcare services. As previously stated, many day service centers use a form of telehealth nursing. I'm gonna highlight this. I can remember. Nurses call clients the day before surgery to answer questions and conduct preoperative and again the day after surgery to ensure that recovery is progressing without complications. So what I the highlights from telehealth um, is the third party payers and health maintenance organization. This is the third sentence or the, the second sentence, something like that. Third party payers and health maintenance organizations often provide this service in the form of nurse lines or dial a nurse using computerized triage. And clients call about symptoms and other questions, and nurses answer questions and make appropriate referrals, following carefully prescribed computerized protocols. I will highlight this. It's like the third and the fourth sentence, or the second and the third sentence. How you want to put it? What's that other one? It's highlight. I mean, it's some of occupational health. Right here. Occupational health. Positive health maintenance is a goal of many companies, hospitals, and industries. Positive health maintenance is a goal of many companies, hospitals, and industries. I will highlight that first thing. That's the goal. Positive health maintenance. That's the goal of many of these hospitals and just the industry, health companies. These sites are interested in their employees' health and welfare as well as promoting minimal absenteeism. I know I fucked that word up. Absenteeism. Absenteeism. That's what it was. Absenteeism. Nurses may act as wellness coordinators for such industries, teaching preventive care and health maintenance to employees. I like this. Man, it's so much shit we can do. Damn. Ain't no calm down, man. I like this chapter right here, baby. We're talking about this, but what all we can do is nurse damn jobs. I'm just so damn excited. In many situations, nurses are responsible for enforcing safety measures in occupational safety and health administration. That's the OSHA regulation, as well as managing workers' compensation claims and providing safety data for employees. The occupational health nurse must be knowledgeable in first aid. These nurses often chair safety committees and may manage employee assistance programs, including CD education and prevention. In rare cases, the industrial nurse may perform home visits to employees. That's in rare cases. So they're known as industrial nurses because they work within the industry, the health industry. Man, I want this kind of job right here. So in many situations, nurses are responsible for enforcing. So I will highlight that. In many situations, nurses are responsible for enforcing safety measures and occupational safety and health administration, that's OSHA, regulation, as well as managing workers' compensation claims and providing safety data sheets. So this for employees. So this sound like HR. This sound like working in HR. Damn, this sound like a good ass job. Yeah. And it says these nurses often chair safety committees and may manage prevention, mm, including CV education. Now, I'm not gonna do that. Moving on. Oh, that was all that I did. I highlighted many cases somewhere. Right here in many cases. Now, but RNs and LPNs are employed in occupational health. Although the team members usually in registered nurses. Both registered nurses and LPNs are employed in occupational health. Although the team leader is usually an RN, I'll highlight this. Team leader is usually, we can say always, but usually, majority of the time, it's going to be an RN. Unless you're just a competent ass LPN, they'll probably give you the do you go flowers. As a nursing student, you may have come in contact with the Employee Health Service, EHS, of your school or the facility where clinical experience is gained. I actually have. I sure have. Helping you. Employees of healthcare facilities usually are seen by the EHS for various reasons, including the initial physical examination, yearly tuberculin PPD testing, routine routine screenings, and return to work permits all units are injured. HS, employee health services, personnel in the healthcare facility are responsible, highlight that, are responsible for investigating any reports of unusual expected exposure of employees to communicable diseases, including needle incidents or cases of assault by of the nurse by a client. The employee health service may also be responsible for teaching cardiopulmonary resuscitation and other classes. I will highlight that. EHS nurse, they're going to teach CPR. Nurses who develop latex sensitivity would also be assisted by the EHS to locate safe material and equipment in an acceptable work environment. The EHS is usually open only during daytime and early evening hours and may be closed on weekends. So, working in. I kind of like that job too. I have many like this. All right. Armed forces for the folk that's in the military. Active armed forces and reserves offer employment opportunities for all levels of nurses. After basic training, licensed nurses may enter the armed forces at a level higher than that of other enlisted persons. Usually, they are assigned to hospitals or clinic and may be assigned to duty in another country. The nurse in the military is trained in CPR and may also be trained as an emergency medical technician, an EMT. So, specially trained combat medics may be RNs or they may be LPNs. In cases, qualified individuals receive salary and expenses while attending nursing programs in exchange for enlistment. Nurses, while in service, can often earn credits to help pay for additional education after leaving the service, and also take college courses free of charge while on active duty. So, what I would highlight from there, we know this is some military people, so this is somebody like Tiffany. Um, After basic training, licensed nurses may enter the armed force at a let me see, the active employment options for all level nurses. After basic training, blah, blah, blah. Nurses military is trained in CPR and may also be trained in emergency combat medics may be. I'm gonna highlight the nursing military is trained in CPR. Highlight that sentence, and then I'm gonna highlight trained combat medics may be on in, so I'm gonna highlight that. That's the only nurses while in service can off. Now highlight the last one. That's common since everybody lost the military nurses get paid. Okay. Schools. Let's talk about these schools. That's something I want to do. Let me see what they talk about. Let me see what they talk about. No shit, I ain't read that. Man, I thought I was almost finished. One, two. Schools. In addition to nurses employed, in addition to nurses employed to assist specific students with disabilities, school systems and colleges may employ nurses and healthcare personnel to work with general student body. LPNs may be employed as assistants or school health aides in the student health services. So highlight the LPNs. This is in school. They may be employed as assistant or school health aides in student health service. And most state schools are required to have a public health nurse, PHN, or licensed certified school nurse in charge of this program. Duties are varied and interesting. Duties are varied and interesting. Assistant nurses help with, you ready to highlight that? Assistant nurses help with vision and hearing screening, immunization clinics, and athletic physical exams. The nurse or assistant nurse also perform, highlight that, they also perform first aid with additional education or training and assist with record keeping. He or she may help teach nursing assistants on work release programs. Highlight that. And may assist with student support regarding weight loss, eating disorders, CD, smoking cessation, and related topics. This nurse may also oversee a student medical entrance club or may accompany the band or a sports team on an out of town trip. I'm gonna highlight that. But we ain't never had nobody come with our ass. I was in the band and I was a cheerleader, flipping up in the air and shit. Ain't no damn nurse. The nurse may help students deal with issues such as violence in the school or death of a classmate. They be called, and they may be called on to help teach topics such as sex ed, safer sex, pregnancy prevention. The nurse works with teens, teen parents, and their children, and this make may make supervised home visits. So I like the last one. So teen parents and children and may make supervised home visits. Now, parish nursing. Many religion congregations have parish nurses who may be paid employees or volunteers. Parish nurses facilitate a congregation holistic health, combining physical, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. A local hospital or public health agency may provide a case manager or nurse coordinators to help develop the concept, support the parish, and provide in service education to the nurse. Specific parish nursing courses are available, and this nurse is usually a registered nurse. The LPNs may function as an assistant. So highlight that about these parish nurses. It's usually going to be a registered nurse, and then the LPN is going to be the assistant. The function of the parish nursing service often include health care screening or health screening, particularly blood pressure, educating individuals or groups on health and wellness topic, writing newsletter articles, and visiting parishioners in hospitals and nursing homes, and sometimes performing home visits. Parish nurses provide counseling, they make referrals, and serve as client advocates, but usually do not provide hands-on nursing care. So I will highlight that. Highlight that whole thing. Highlight that whole thing. They may assist in training family caregivers. They often accompany congregation members, healthcare providers, offices, or hospitals for test results or surgery. Parish nurses provide support to terminally ill clients and their families and often participate in funerals for deceased parishioners. Can't do that one. Ain't doing all that. They sometimes facilitate bereavement support groups. Let me make sure I said that right because I don't have to say that word every day. I know what it means. Yeah, I'm talking about that B word. I think it's bereavement. Let me make sure. I say that every day. Shit, that's the most I probably been said it in my life. Let me see. Bereavement. Babe, I know what I'm talking about. Say bereavement. Google said bereavement. So it say they sometimes facilitate bereavement support groups. Occasionally, churches sponsor healthcare clinics or health fairs for parishioners and the local community. Services may be limited, or the clinic may be an ongoing community health center. The parish may also sponsor an outside agency brought into provide brought in to provide schools, including bone density carotid artery ultrasounds, and ECGs. Parish nurses may oversee such programs and coordinate volunteers. The parish nurse may also oversee programs in the community, such as Meals on Wheels or the local blood drive. I like that last sentence about the Meals on Wheels and the blood drive. And let me see. For this one, we need to highlight you know, I keep reading all this shit. Many religious congregations have parish nurses who may be paid employees or volunteers. I'm not gonna volunteer. Parish nurses facilitate to come. Okay, so the second sentence, what parish nurses do. Parish nurses, they facilitate a congregation holistic health, combining physical, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. A local hospital or okay, so I will highlight that second sentence. Parish nurses facilitate a congregation, holistic health, a congregation's holistic health combining physical, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. So that's holistic. That's what holistic means. Mind, body, and spirit. Nursing in unique locales. What's that word? I think I never said that word. Locales. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That word is locales, baby. Employment is available. So nursing in unique locales. Employment is available for a limited number of nurses, both RNs and LPNs, in such unique locations as cruise ships or large resorts, particularly those catering to older folk. In these positions, nurses function under standing orders. Okay, they function under open quotation, standing orders, close quotation, from a healthcare provider may not be on site. In an emergency, the nurse must be able to contact the provider, but must be able to perform first aid to life support measures to stabilize the person for transport or until emergency services arrive. Okay, so they got to be able to contact the provider and let them know what the fuck going on, and they need to at least get that patient stabilized. So let's keep going and then we'll go back and see what we're going to highlight. In many foreign nurse countries, nurses education, in many foreign countries, nurses educated in the US and Canada are in great demand. Sometimes the nurse country's government will pay moving and living expenses as well as a high salary, baby. Hey, hold on. Let me look into this shit. The American nursing license is often sufficient, although a local license may be required as well. Nurses who anticipate seeking employment in other countries would benefit from learning languages and other English. That is something all I ask me to do. We need to get into when we get out of school, get into a Spanish program, um, even the French program, because believe it or not, it's a lot of French people. I don't know what they call. I'm say Frenchmen. Hell, I don't know. I think it's Frenchman, but I don't know. My granddaddy was a Frenchman. He was from France, so we call him a Frenchman. With my great granddad. So I don't know what the hell. I think we call him Frenchman. So it is real good to learn another language. I think some of us should do it. I definitely want to learn how to speak Spanish, and I want to learn how to speak um, French as well. So understanding the customs for appropriate personnel also essential in preparation for those positions. There are strict taboos and protocols of behavior for women in many Middle Eastern countries. Don't go over there thinking you can twerk. Don't think you can go over there showing titties. You know what I'm saying? You gotta cover yourself the fuck up in the Middle Eastern countries because they don't fuck around over there. Okay. Some countries, I think like in Dubai, you can't even wear no damn military clothes. You cannot. It is against the law to wear a military outfit. If you got some military pants or a shirt with military, you can't do it. Okay. I don't want to hear no bullshit. You can't fucking do it. I don't know why, goddamn it, you can't. Additional immunizations may be required when you're going over there to the different countries, to prevent you from getting ill. So, what I would do for nursing in unique locales, what I would highlight is, let's see, employment is available for limited number of nurses, both RNs and LPNs and such. Unique. I will highlight this first sentence, such as it's going to be cruise ships, it's going to be large resorts, particularly those catering to older people. I will highlight all that. I also will highlight these position nurse functions such as standing orders from a healthcare provider who may not be on site. I will highlight this. I will highlight in these positions, nurses function understanding orders is for a doctor that's not on site or a provider that's not on site. An emergency nurse must be able to contact the provider and it must be able to perform first aid. I will highlight that. I will highlight that whole damn paragraph. And whole entire paragraph gotta be highlighted because all this shit is important. In many foreign countries, sometimes the American nurse life, countries participating speaking, dot. I will also highlight if you do seek on traveling and doing this type of um doing this type of nursing about the language. I will highlight that. Now let's talk about volunteer service. Nurses, right here, nurses can help or volunteer service in my book, in the new book. The nurse is a member of a larger community. Opportunities for health services or help. Wait a minute. The nurse is a member of the larger community. Opportunities exist for volunteer services to give back to that community. Service opportunities include teaching. So get ready to highlight that. Service opportunities include teaching others about healthcare or assisting in times of disaster. The events of September 11th, that's Hurricane Katrina. That happened in 2001. That shit was sad than the motherfucker. That happened. No, 9/11. That's 2001. I was in the ninth grade in my classroom watching those. Hurricane Katrina in 2005. That was a couple of days after my birthday. That was sad. I was I just turned 18. That was devastating. And I was working at Wendy's. And earthquake in Haiti in 2010. I remember about the badass earthquake. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I remember them 2 days, September 11th, 2011. That was the Twin Towers. And then when they got fucking blew up, because there's no fucking airplane running into them damn things, baby. They were bombed. And Hurricane Katrina, they also bombed the goddamn shit there. Okay, they bombed them damn levees. So that's a whole nother story. We ain't finna get into that. I ain't finna get into it. And Nepal in 2015, I think that was a tsunami. Oh, as well as tsunamis and earthquakes in Japan. Okay, serves to emphasize the need for first aid volunteers in every community and around the world. Nurses may also be involved in the local community by teaching first aid, babysitting, or expectant parents classes at local hospitals or in teaching adult or community education classes. Some positions utilize volunteers, some positions are paid. I got to get paid. I ain't going to be doing too much volunteering. Hell no. I ain't going to be doing hell no. I'll highlight that. I'll highlight that whole paragraph right now. Let's talk about this American Red Cross. Um, right here. Oh, right here. The American Red Cross or large national organizations uses nurse volunteers to assist with well baby and immunization clinics, as well as to provide first aid services for community events and during disaster. Red Cross nurse volunteers also teach CPR. They're going to teach first aid, child care, babysitting, and other classes. Volunteer nurses, blood drives, and health fairs. I done that before. I didn't done that before. So let me stop acting like I don't volunteer. I didn't volunteer before. I ain't gonna be doing too much of it. Our major stadiums, sports arenas, and other venues have a cadre. I think it's cadre. Uh, welcome to the Jocelyn Cabaret. I don't know, but have a cadre. I think this is first aid volunteers and paid rescue personnel work during games, concerts, and other events. Also, we can work at the Super Bowl. I'm gonna have to put that shit up. Nurses can receive special training to serve in either a paid or volunteer capacity at these events. I ain't gonna volunteer at the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna do it. AmeriCorps volunteers in service to America. That's American Corps Visa. Celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2015. This organization provides care and education to people in need in the U.S., especially those classified as being in poverty or those in medically undeserved areas. That's according to the National Service.gov. Usually, this is a year-long commitment to serve on a specific project at a nonprofit organization, public agency. One goal is to highlight that. Highlight the goal. I always highlight those. One goal is to improve health service. A summer associate program of 8 to 10 weeks is also available. The Peace Corps Global Leadership Adventures offers, hold on, let me show you. Yeah, I'm right. The Peace Corps um, offers a volunteer opportunity for needed human services in many parts of the world. And that's according to experiencegla.com. This organization also has a team program. Other volunteer opportunities in the US and around the world include Habitat for Humanity and teams providing service, eye care, and underserved and other countries. Health care and other services in underserved areas. I think it's like miscarriage of death. Most of these programs welcome all nurses and volunteers. But that was for the volunteer service. I don't do too much volunteer. I do it, but not a lot of it. The American Red Cross. So this just talking, and I think it's kind of important to know about American Red Cross because it was a nurse that talked about in the beginning. I remember her name. I don't know if it was, I don't. I really I think it was the reason, but she probably had something to do here, but don't give me the line, but I really think it was the reason because my ain't name was nurse who founded, um, nurse who helped with American Red Cross. Clara, I'm wrong. Clara Barton, that's her name. I remember that. Nurse Doritha Donthe. Doritha Orm. Let me see what she. Doritha Orm. She nurse theorist. Um, how did she contribute? What she did. I think she had something to do with what you call it when your mind mental health. I think that's how I remember her. She got my auntie name, and I think she helped me mental health. Oh well, but it's gonna be Clara Barton. Clara Barton helped with the Red Cross. So the American Red Cross, a large national organization, uses nurse volunteers to assist with well baby and immunization. I will highlight that. I will highlight that. That's a big organization. So I will highlight what the American Red Cross do. Nurses can receive special training to serve in either a paid or volunteer capacity at these events. Da da da. Um, our major stadiums, sports arenas, and other venues have a cadre of first aid volunteers and paid rescue personnel who work during gang concerts and other events. Red Cross nurse volunteers also teach CPR, medicine, da da da. And I would do that as far as volunteer. I'll do something like that. AmeriCorps volunteer and service. Da, da, da. So AmeriCorps volunteer. Okay, that's it. This organization for AmeriCorps, highlight AmeriCorps, and you ain't gotta do all that 50th anniversary. You know, but highlight what that organization does. This organization provides care and education to people in need in the U.S., especially those um, who, especially those classified as being in poverty or those in medically undeserved areas. So highlight that one. And let's talk about these other. Hold on, it's the P Corp. Okay, the P Corp. We still at the top. Talk about. You need to highlight P Corp. The Peace Corp. Peace Corp. And what they offer. They offer volunteer opportunities for needed human services in many parts of the world. And this organization also has a team program in habitat, highlight habitat, humanity, and senior providing surgery or eye care, and then highlight church often sponsored mission trips because they're called missionaries. Um, So it's a key concept. The nurse is a member of the larger community. Opportunities for volunteer service to give back to their community. I would do that. Think I'm just something. I'm selfish with my income. I have back to the community. I have volunteered, and I will. I volunteered more than once, several times. And Northwestern makes no ass volunteer. Other opportunities. Other potential employment opportunities may include, and y'all don't forget, they said something about these past two, because I'm thinking about this, um, volunteering stuff. They said something about it's going to be something of our choice that we have to select to go and do something. So, um, let me know, because some of us can get together and go to that place together instead of going into that place by ourselves. I know the why let you I know the why let you volunteer. If y'all got a church that everybody is cool with, we can volunteer in it. That y'all know the pastor real well, y'all can talk to the pastor. We can volunteer there. I don't know. It's something about we had to set up something of our choice. We'll find out. Other opportunities. Other potential employment opportunities may include Head Start programs. Now, Head Start employs nurses in schools as assistant instructors programs for very young children. I ain't trying to do that. Weight loss clinics. Weight loss clinics employ nurses as perform other functions. Programs. Most camps are required to employ nurses. The lead nurse is often an RN, but the company can also be on staff. Camp nurses share many functions with nurses, although many functions other things are different. Campers they have poison ivy, oats, insects, sugars, sugars, everything. I don't like it. I don't like it. Boring now. I like laceration and various infections. They may be sunburned. They may have windburn. Never heard of this. So as burnt up by some burned by campfire. A year-round male or a child may be thrown from a horse. It's also a his home teacher. They also survival and first aid. A camp may also a particular condition such as asthma or diabetes. This is typically a summer position. Allowing the nurse ample time further their education summer position program. Most camps nurses. Also, wilderness safety survival. I think what I would highlight to you say also wilderness safety survival and first aid. Word is wilderness survival. Also focus and highlight the typically a subtle position allowing nurses to education, fear or pursue others. And point back up to weight loss. The only highlight the first when it comes to weight loss is mind because so I would highlight it just like Thomas said. Start so highlight that only one thing. Highlight that whole damn. Moving on, let's talk about these specialized employment. I really like this chapter. One, two, three, four. That's what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna go and do. I'm gonna go back over chapter 101. I don't know. No, I'm not, because I don't want to mix it up. I figured out. So, 1 minute. Right here. Some employment opportunities. Some positions are available for nurses with special qualifications and abilities to meet the demand of a particular job. Most, most of these positions require further education or training beyond the basic nursing program, specialized training programs. Cool. Specific education. Sometimes certification is available to the LPNs in areas such as pharmacology, IV therapy, and gerontology. Nurses may also receive additional education in areas such as emergency medical technician, that's EMT, or phlebotomy, that's drawing blood. Specially trained nurses are practicing in acute care facilities or acute care settings, including intensive care units, coronary care units, emergency departments, and operating rooms. And advanced education nurses, we'll talk about that in chapter 1. Let's talk about the practical nursing program. Our practical, well, going back up to, let me see what I will highlight, especially training programs. Specific education, I would highlight the first unit is telling you that you can do pharmacology, IV therapy, all that. Um, and I highlight the second, and phlebotomy. Oh, of course, we know that when you get a little more, that's specialized, so that's like going to be a specialty. Um, and you get those certificates, that you can end up probably working in ICU and heart floors and emergency departments and operating rooms because you got that other shit under your belt. So they're not going to put you out. Some of y'all are going to really be able to go to decent, get nice jobs compared to us who ain't never worked in a damn hospital. I ain't never did no phlebotomy, no shit like that. Practical nursing program. Some practical vocational nursing programs employ nurses without baccalaureate degrees assist with clinical or lab supervision of students. So highlight that first thing for the practical nursing program. Some practical vocational nursing programs employ nurses without baccalaureate degrees to assist with clinical or laboratory supervision of students. In some states, illegal. I don't know what state it is. Some of them illegal. Qualifications include a sound education, educational background, recent and pertinent clinical nursing experience, proficiency in nursing skills, patience, and the ability to work with people. And previous degree in education, with a previous degree in education, experience in an advantage. It's an advantage. Yeah. And hours are usually days, and you may have to work Monday through Friday. So, one thing I would highlight is that first day and two. Operating room, hospital space, hospitals may employ LPNs or newly graduate or in operating rooms. These nurses without post grad training as a surgical technician. Hold on. Some of my These nurses following postgraduate training as a surgical technician function as scrub nurses. In most states, the lead circulating nurse must be a registered nurse. In most states, the hours are going to be Monday through Friday during the day. She may start at 5 o'clock, or well, 4 or 5. However, OR staff members are often on call for emergency. So they usually, I had a friend, she did packing, and they gave her a phone. If she had to be on call, they give you a cell phone. So think about that. That's in most states. They let us do the pack you or, you know, the operating room shit. Now I know you cannot do it in LSU. I don't know about Willis Knight or anywhere else, but they don't let us do pack. Or have anything to do with um, during operating rooms. I know LSU for some of y'all who are interested in that LSU got my friend already. I won't do that anyway. So let me see. What can we highlight out of operating? Hospitals may employ LPNs or newly graduate RNs in operating room. Let's follow postgraduate training and so highlight the fact that these nurses following postgraduate training as a surgical technician function is scrub nurse. This is scrubbing the damn doctor. Say it's ready to go in there. Damn surgeon. Okay. Dialysis centers. I think they hire us dialysis. Nurses may be specifically trained to work in hospital dialysis units, ambulatory dialysis centers, or on mobile teams that administer dialysis to clients in their homes. Some clients have their own home dialysis unit. Nurses teach clients and family members how to operate machines. In some cases, nurses operate the machines. Dialysis nurses must have a thorough understanding of the complications and emergency measures associated with this treatment. This is what my boyfriend mama does. She's a registered nurse in a dialysis center. And once again, nurses may be specifically trained to work in the hospital dialysis, ambulatory dialysis, or on mobile teams that administer dialysis to clients in their home. Some have their own in-home dialysis unit. Nurses teach clients and family members. So, what does a dialysis do? They're going to teach the client. I will highlight that. They're going to teach clients and family members how to operate machines, and in some cases, nurses operate the machines. So the client may not do anything if they're going to a center. But if they have a lot of at-home shit, they're going to teach them how to do it. Y'all know, like peritoneal dialysis, shit like that. They have to go in for training in a dialysis nurse. Hyperbaric medicine. I think this got something. No, oxygen. Oxygen. Additional hospitals are developing hyperbaric chambers Here, oxygen is administered under pressure to clients, including those with anaerobic diseases such as gas, gangrene, or tetanus. In addition, hyperbaric oxygenation (HBO) is often. See, I didn't know what HBO meant. We went over HBO in another. It was a couple of pages before this. Let's keep going. In addition, hyperbaric oxygenation (HBO) is often helpful in cases of carbon monoxide poisoning in conjunction with some types of cancer. I think drowning. Yep, and near drowning. And in cases of rapid re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, such as the fighter or balloonist who crashes from a high altitude or a diver who ascends too fast. That means they're trying to come up out that water, and when they're trying to come up out that water, it's something called they have to, I think, decompress. They're a deep diver. They just can't come out that water too fast to fuck their lungs up. So they have to take time coming up out the water. So that's what that means for a deep sea diver. I think I learned that from a Navy SEAL. But anyway, um, some types of surgery are also performed under HBO. The nurse either um, the nurse either registered nurse or LPN requires special instructions to work in the hyperbaric chamber or with the supporting team outside the chamber because very high concentration oxygen is delivered. Special safety measures must be carefully observed. People working in the chamber also must have patent, meaning open auditory in order to adequately equalize the pressure in the middle ear with the surrounding atmosphere in the chamber and thereby to avoid severe discomfort. There you go, right there. Former Navy, right here. Former Navy divers also have found hyperbaric medicine to be good career opportunities. Those Navy SEALs, they do those those men in the military that's known as Navy SEALs. Okay, so let's see. Additional hospitals are developing hyperbaric. So highlight here, second in the new book says here oxygen is administered under pressure to clients, including those with anaerobic disease such as gas, gangrene, or tetanus. In addition, hyperbaric oxygenation (HBO) is often helpful in cases of carbon monoxide in conjunction with some types of cancer therapy, in cases of near drowning and rapid entry to Earth's atmosphere, such as firefighters or balloonists crashes from a high altitude or deep sea divers who ascends too fast and they're trying to come back up out the water. Or they're trying to come back into the earth's atmosphere because they probably was in the stratosphere, if that's how you call it, stratosphere. It's different spheres that they ask to go up to. And that means they're coming out of the earth atmosphere, trying to come back into the atmosphere, cause some oxygen. They cause I think it can make your lungs come out, fill up with bubbles or some shit. It can be, harmful to the lungs. People working in the chamber must also have. I don't think that's important. Working in there, you'll learn that shit when you get the job because very high concentration oxygen. Special safety measures must be carefully operated. Let's talk about pharmaceutical sales. Pharmaceutical companies sometimes employ nurses in sales and marketing positions. I ain't trying to do that. Nurses work there have advantage over other sales folks because they understand the actual side effects of meds and may be better able to communicate info to physicians. The salesperson is often required to travel and must provide a professional wardrobe in a car. Hours can be long, but the salesperson often works on commission potential for high earnings. If I want to work on in something like that, baby, I'd rather just go to dealers. I see they talking about high earnings. I ain't no sales bitch, okay? I don't sell. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do no sales. What is it? Marketing too? Yeah. Mm-mm. I don't even know nobody to sell shit. Nobody fucking me. He even sell shit. Veterinary clinics. More veterinarians are hiring nurses as assistants. I was work up in there, but I be sneezing. My ass off, eyes stay red. So I couldn't even go up in there. But baby, I would love to go there. Let me keep reading. Many nursing techniques for humans are useful in veterinary medicine and surgery as well. Wait a minute. Many nursing techniques for humans are okay. The anatomy and physiology of animal closely parallels that of the human. So I guess when it comes to organs and shit like organ system. Right. Right. Who in that kitchen? If it's Katie, I'm beating your ass. Chiropractic clinics and acupuncture centers. Patrick, chiropractic clinic. Matter of fact, let me take a break and keep going to the chiropractic practice, whatever tomorrow. Hold on. Yeah, he gotta go. Chiropractic clinics and chiropractic clinics and acupuncture centers often employ nurses as assistants. In some cases, nurses receive instructions to perform some treatments such as diathermy and ultrasounds. Let's see what diathermy is. Diathermy, a medical and surgical technique involving the production of heat in a part of the body by high frequency electric current to stimulate the circulation, relieve pain, destroy unhealthy tissue, or cause bleeding vessels to clot. So it says diathermy or treatments that deliver energy to treat specific areas of the body. These treatments are typically used for the following purposes: to relieve pain, stiffness, and muscle spasms, and to reduce joint contractures. And that's from healthucdavis.edu. So anything that's.com, you can't really trust it. But that's from edu. Okay. So that's what goes down in the chiropractic clinic and acupuncture center. And it says nurses may also return to school to receive advanced training to perform therapy, such as homeopathy, flower essence therapy, acupressure, acupuncture, and other complementary therapy. That's something I would want. So chiropractic clinic and acupuncture centers often employ in some cases nurses receive instructions. So I will highlight the seconds on what they do, diathermy and ultrasound. Nurses may also return to school to see I ain't gonna highlight that. Dental hypophthalmology, that's the damn eye, and other specialty clinics. Nurses may be employed by dentists or eye specialists, particularly those who perform surgery. These nurses assist with procedures such as LASIK eye surgery or dental procedures. Other specialty clinics may employ nurses who assist with procedures such as colonoscopy or mastectomy. This often involves on-the-job training. Functions include pre-procedures, teaching, starting IVs, administering the meds before and during the procedures, handling instruments and supplies, handing instruments and supplies to the practitioner during the procedure, receiving and preserving biopsy material, monitoring client vital signs and emotional support of the client. The nurse also monitors the client after the procedure until he or she is stable. Make sure the client is safe to return home and carries out post-op instructions, including signs of complications. So this is like they can act like a PACU nurse. This is, is post-operative care uh, during recovery. So this position involves daytime hours during the week, but the staff may be on call for emergencies. So go up, and I will highlight nurses may be employed by the dentist or eye specialist, particularly those who perform surgery. And these nurses assist with procedures such as biopsies, LASIK eye surgeries, or various dental procedures. Um, I will highlight the other specialties, which is colonoscopy or vasectomy, and this is job training. That's all I will highlight. I think it's like the first three sentences. One, two, and then like the first three sentences. Emergency rescue. Some nurses often work with clients who are injured or suddenly become ill. An additional paramedic or EMT course is often required to be employed in ground earth, or air rescue services. Employment in this area requires calmness under pressure, quick thinking, and accurate decision making. Emergency rescue personnel regularly use medical surgical equipment and must be familiar with a variety of high-tech equipment. Other opportunities for nurses with paramedics or EMT training include military service, park ranger rescue service, and ski patrol programs. EMTs and paramedics may be employed or may be volunteers or parades, races, sports events such as golf tournaments and football games, concerts, and other large gatherings, and may provide rescue service in the amount but in the event of a disaster. So that's what emergency rescue services do. So nurses do. So some nurses work with clients who are injured or suddenly become ill. I will highlight that first sentence. Some nurses work with clients who know, are injured or suddenly become ill. In addition, paramedics and EMTs. Of course, it's often um, highlight the second sentence. Employment in this area requires calmness under pressure. I would definitely highlight the third sentence and the fourth sentence. That's all I'm gonna highlight because I've been highlighting the whole damn paragraph. Matter of fact, just highlight emergency rescue. If you highlight this right here, the title, the heading or whatever it's called, subheading, highlight this sheet so you can know that pretty much all of that is important. You know, self-employment. Some nurses are self-employed entrepreneurs. Examples include running a shop that sells or rents med equipment or uniforms, assisting clients to manage equipment such as home oxygen or CPAP machines, contracting nurses to provide home care, developing and marketing a specialty health related product, operating a health food or herbal medicine store, or acting as a personal trainer in a gym. Wow, ain't that some? It's for you entrepreneur B words out here. Just for you. All I ask is gonna be for entrepreneur. I know I am. But that's for get into it. Look into it. The persons may specialize in prosthesis, including breast prosthesis and specialized clothing for people with disabilities. Nurses might work from home doing medical transcription or medical literature searches and research on the internet for others. That's a bitch like me right there who pays for it. Specialized educational programs are available to train nurses to do legal consulting. A nurse might contract with the city or county to provide testing services for contaminants such as radon or lead. Many large cities have such programs. Practical vocational nurses often sit as members of their state or province board of nursing. Now, just notice key concept: the possibilities for entrepreneurship and related volunteer activities are limited. The individual nurse's imagination, available time, financial resources, and personal energies are pertinent factors. So, for self employment, this is just know this is for the entrepreneurs. And all of that was kind of um, um, self explanatory, but I would say an examples include running a shop that sells or rents medical equipment. You can highlight that. Or uniforms, assisting clients to manage equipment such as home oxygen CPAP machines, contracting nurses to provide home care, developing and marketing specialty health products, operating, da, 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 all that, highlight all the way to the gym. So, and if you really like that, highlight that. Just highlight the whole title. Highlight self-employment, and then just run with it. And just know key concepts again: the possibilities for entrepreneurship and related volunteer activities are unlimited. You can be, do, and have whatever you want. It all starts in imagination. That's why it says the individual's nurse imagination, available time, financial resources, and personal energy. You got to put your energy in there and you got to use your imagination for those things to manifest or for those things to be, you know, those are all pertinent factors. I mean, they're all important in order to be self employed. Obtaining employment info, nursing, and I really like that self employment. I would do that. I sure would, with the help of some of you already established entrepreneurs. Almost nursing. Okay, so we're talking about obtaining employment info. Nursing provides a unique opportunity for employees to choose work schedules and locations that best suit their lifestyles. Examine personal and family needs to choose the most suitable work situation. It is important to remember that this is your first job and not the rest of your career. What is important is gaining experience and learning what it takes to function in the professional world. You may not get the salary that your motherfucking ass want or the perfect job that your motherfucking ass want. But if you can get a job, you can get a start. And that's from the Minneapolis Star Tribune or Tribune. And he wrote that shit on March 29th, 2009. Or they wrote that, whoever wrote it. A very large percentage of jobs are never advertised in print media or filled by the time when an advertisement publishes. Be sure to build networks to learn positions as they become available. It's so important as nurses that we network so we can get jobs. Like I got a home girl that worked here and there, and boom, there you go, get me in the door. If an internship, student, learning experience, or volunteer opportunity is available, take it, okay? Future employees are often chosen from those who have had some exposure to the facility and are known to the staff. Future employees are often chosen from those who have had some exposure to the facility and known to the staff. That's your reader right there. That's you, Sharita. I know you ain't gonna listen to the video, but that's you right there, Sharita. Take advantage of any on-campus career days or recruiter visits. Many schools also have a placement officer who will help with job application. Key concept that you need to remember. Remember that approximately 90% of all positions are filled based on personal contacts. Many positions are not advertised or advertised after the employee already has a prospective employee in mind. Doing homework and expanding one's professional network increases the chances of obtaining the desired position. Okay. So what I will highlight from this one, of course, you're gonna highlight the key concept. Just highlight the word key concept so you know to look at it. So this is obtaining employment information. So what are we going to highlight? We're going to highlight. Let's see. Nurse provide a unique opportunity for examine personnel and family needs to choose the most suitable work situation. That's going back to it is important to remember that this is your first job and important gain experience. You may not get the salary you want. A very large percentage of jobs are never advertised in community on. Be sure to build networks to learn. I will highlight be sure to build networks to learn about positions as well as they become available. If an internship, study learning experience provides. I will highlight if an internship, student learning experience, or volunteer opportunity is available, you need to take that bitch. And then I will also highlight future employees are often chosen from those who have had some exposure to the facility and are known to staff. That is all I would take advantage of on campus. Any on campus career days or recruiter visits. Many schools have. And I will highlight take advantage of um, any on campus career days or recruiter visits. And we just had a on campus career day last and just highlight the key concepts. So I think those things are important. Medical pool or personnel service. A medical pool or nurses registry recruit nurses to work in facilities that need extra help or vacation coverage or during busy periods, maternity leaves or illness. Okay. So highlight a medical pool and or nurses registry recruit nurses to work in facilities that need extra help for vacations coverage or during busy periods, maternity leave or illness. A nurse registry or with the agency which calls when a job is available. So this is like a PRN. This is like a PRN. The nurse has the option of declining. It's almost, I don't know if anybody has ever been a substitute teacher before. This is what this shit is like. This is what this shit is like. So you can decline a job or you can take the job. It's so many different fucking jobs. They're gonna be ringing your phone, or you can look in the, the nurses registry or nurse medical pool and look that shit up. So the nurse has the option of declining, which is an advantage for those who do not wish to work full time. So this is like PRN. Nurses decline too often, however, risk losing future opportunities with the agency. So don't just be like, hell no, I ain't going in today. I ain't going. Don't decline for the whole month, bitch. You got to go and make that money. However, risk losing future. Okay, whatever. Hmm. Agencies may offer insurance, vacation pay, and free service education to nurses who accept a required number of shifts. Some agencies have regular posts to fill in healthcare facilities, home care, and schools, and can provide nurses with full-time employment. There are advantages and disadvantages in working for a pool. The nurses often paid a higher hourly wage, but maybe without benefits. So that is the disadvantage when you are a PRN nurse. I'm gonna highlight that. They have to pay for your own benefits stuff or whatever. Uh, the nurse has more choices as to when and where to work. I highlight that. But the disadvantages include not knowing if one will be working or not, unpaid time out, and difficulty in establishing strong bonds with the coworker unless nurse is regularly assigned to the same location, then they'll know you, I was with me. I'm regularly substituted at J.S. Clark, and those teachers and people in the office became familiar. And I usually did a lot of the same teaching. Often the pool nurse is assigned to a very busy area, which may be a positive challenge or may be very difficult. In addition, nurses in facilities may resent the pool nurse knowing that the salary is higher. Most hospitals and some long-term facilities have their own internal nursing pool, or they call them a float pool. And this has the advantage of continuity and stability and the nurse's familiarity with the physical setup, nursing protocols, computerized reporting systems, staff at the facility. This nurse may also be able to build seniority with the facility and is often eligible for benefits. Okay, then I highlight that last and I highlight the first one. Most hospitals and some long-term care facilities have their own internal floating pool. And so with that, the advantage is I will highlight that of continuity, stability, and stability, and the nurse familiarity with the physical setup, nurse protocols, computerized reporting system, and staff at the facility. And go back, I will highlight if you decline too often, guess what? That agency might get rid of your stupid ass. and a nurse registry and calls in the job for them. And highlight a nurse registry, registers with agency which calls when a job is available. Okay, option of declining. And highlight advantage. You can decline that job if you don't want to go there. They know a little B word up there and y'all don't get along and you don't want to take this shit. You don't have to. Let me see what else. I think I'm gonna go finish this chapter tonight. I don't know. Employment services. These state jobs are employment state jobs or employment services affiliated with the state or local government. That's statelocalgov.net, according to them. This agency provides free job info both in private industry and government positions. In addition to helping workers find employment, they also promote the well-being of the state's workers, deal with issues confronting special populations such as veteran, migrants, youth, seniors, or disabled workers, and provide retraining and rehab. Positions in other areas are also accessible through the website. Many large organizations, healthcare facilities, counties, or states maintain an internet job hotline. A person can call or access the service 24 hours a day. Many of these instances are required by law to post all positions so the person accessing the service can pursue all available positions. An application for employment is obtained and usually submitted online. So this for the state employment service. Now I will highlight this page provides free job info about both private, well, both in private industries and government positions. In addition to helping workers find employment, they also promote well-being of the state workers, deal with issues confronting special populations such as veterans, migrants, youth seniors, or disabled workers, and provide retraining and rehab. And that's the thing I will highlight. I won't highlight nothing else. Um, moving on, nursing journals. Many nursing journals. This is where we get a lot of our references from and shit. Nursing journals. Nursing journals also advertise. Some positions are in specialty areas. Others are for general staff nurses, including new grads. Specific positions advertised in journals are often filled by the time they are published. However, these ads can provide some insight into which healthcare facilities are currently hiring and the geographical areas that seems to have the same, will have the most available positions. Nursing journals list facility address, emails, addresses, and website for obtaining information. So I will highlight what nursing journals list. They list facility addresses, email addresses, and websites for obtaining further information. Okay. Nursing journals also advertise positions. I will highlight that first sentence. And I will highlight the second. Some positions are in specialty areas, others are for general staff nurse, including new grads. That's all I will highlight from there. Newspaper bulletins. Mhm. Newspaper bulletin boards and other sources. Newspapers publish available positions both in print and on the internet. I like that. Newspaper publish available positions both in print and on the internet. Although print ads are becoming less viable, they do not provide some resources. Even if a particular position is filled by the time an app is found, related positions may be available. Newspapers may have articles regarding job resources and applications or interviewing techniques. Do not forget to look on bulletin boards, either paper posting or internet boards. So, well, internet bulletin boards. And like they said, it's becoming less valuable. It's because it's computer technology out there. The only thing I would highlight is newspaper publish available position both in print and on the internet. That's all I would. That's all I would. I mean, that's all I would highlight. And um, and I will highlight newspapers may have articles regarding job searches and applications or interviewing techniques. All I will highlight. Internet. Fill out job posting today are found on where? The motherfucking internet. Several national national employment websites are available, some of which are specific to healthcare careers. The internet also provides info about online job fairs and about many employers. Many hospitals and other facilities have websites with employment info. Usually, applications for employment are obtained and sent through the internet, a particularly useful service if you plan to work in a part of the country or another part of the country different from your current residence. Internet sites also where you can post your resume for potential employers to review. Often, the only way to apply for a position is online. In addition, individual websites, online versions of several journals, career directories are available. These directories typically include a large number of positions as well as articles related to jobs. They may also be available in printed form. The American Journal of Nursing, that's AJN, publishes a career issue near. Although most positions advertised are for registered nurses, pertinent articles give hints on job seekers. The LPNs can also get a good feeling for where jobs are located by reading this issue. Websites devoted to writing resumes and cover letters, job interviews, and other pertinent topics for employment seekers also are available. In addition, many websites links to others helpful sites. In the search for employment, the internet offers several advantages. For example, an employment can search. So, for example, an individual can search for opportunities in a particular part of the country. A wide range of potential employers can be searched. One of the most important advantages of using the internet is that all searching can be completed from home. In addition, communicating with potential employers through the internet demonstrates one experience and proficiency with computer technology. Focus and narrow the search. Books are also available, which lists specific websites and helpful suggestions to guide the electronic job search. That's all this is. Slow the video down and read it. I stop right there. And an impact alert, but in the book it says key concept highlighted. Although, so highlight the impact alert. And if you got the old book, highlight key concept. Although many nursing opportunities exist for the new um, graduate, be aware of the importance of choosing a first job in a setting that includes experience. That gives you experience in applying your basic nursing skills and knowledge. Let me read that again. Although many nursing opportunities exist for the new graduate, be aware of the importance of choosing a first job in a setting that gives you experience in applying your basic nursing skills and knowledge. So, as far as the internet, what I would highlight is um, the internet also provides information about online job fairs and about many employers. Many hospitals and other conditions for individuals. Internet sites exist where you can post your resume for potential employers to review. I will highlight often the only way to apply for a position often is going to be online in addition to individual websites online. Um, um, if a question asks, I'm like, who is who publishes a career issue yearly? I would highlight the Journal of Nursing. I will highlight that. I would highlight today. Worry about the RN. LPN can also get a good feeling for where jobs are located by reading this issue. I will highlight that. I will highlight the websites of voters to writing resumes and cover letters for interviewing and other pertinent topics. What is this? Because we're probably going to need, I guess, all this internet. Hmm. In addition, many websites link to other, for example, that's all I will highlight. And I will know the key concept or according to the old books and clicks alert. Let's talk about this job seekers. Before deciding on the type of employment, individual personal requirements must be evaluated. Consider such factors as geographic location, shift rotating, childcare, transportation, and housing in the decision making process. You can look at the figure 102-2. And in this figure, it says it is important to think about. See if you got that figure here. Here you go. It is important to think about what type of nursing position will best fit your personality. So, question you ask yourself: how will I get to work? Where the fuck can I work? What kind of clients do I want to work with? What hours fit my schedule to be? Are these hours available? What in-service training do I need? What is my ideal work situation? What are my motherfucking long-term goals? What facility would I like to work in? What is that big bank salary do I need? What are the benefits do I need? What arrangements needs to be made in order for me to work? What backup arrangements can I make in case my child becomes sick? Okay? So just remember, it is important to think about what type of nursing position will best fit your personality, your motherfucking lifestyle. Starting from the bottom to the top, my lifestyle is important. And your interest. I had to think about that revenue. This out. Okay. Where was it? Where was it? We in the job section. Okay. Let's keep going. So unwillingness to compromise about where to work or desire hours of work may lead to difficulties in obtaining a job, baby girl. So develop a job search plan that includes the following. Um, I will highlight this whole damn that the title, which is job seeker. This might help with the portfolio. Also, the internet thing. They don't tell you nothing, but you know what you gotta do. You gotta use the internet for the portfolio. But I will highlight this to help with our portfolio. So, develop a job search plan that includes the following. Highlight that. Develop a job search plan that includes the following. Decide on type of job desired in relation to what is available. Complete a self evaluation. What are your greatest skills and assets? Where is the best? Consider factors such as desire to work alone or with others, freedom and flexibility versus structure, and desire to be a leader or a team member. And at least 5 hours a day in the job search, finding a job, your job now. Set a goal for the number of contacts per day. Be sure the resume and cover letter are neatly printed and error free. Use your spell check and make sure determine wait a minute, use your spell check and make sure you are using the correct word. Spell check only determines if it is a word, but not the meaning. Usually, these will be submitted online. Prepare for interviews with appropriate dress and a plan for um, answering difficult questions. So you can learn how to do all this shit. YouTube and Google. They the motherfucking plug. And YouTube, the people on YouTube that's been through this, they the plug. Emphasize the positive. What you can contribute to the organization. You know that's going to be a question in the interview. Your education in all formal positions, paid or volunteer. Use networking skills to find unadvertised positions. Arrange issues such as transportation and daycare ahead of time. The first job is important. It forms the basis for future opportunities. Performing well the first time provides a sound basis and good reference that will help in acquiring future positions. So that was all this I just read. So what I will highlight is I think it's important to know the whole damn thing, the whole one. So highlight, develop a job search plan that includes the following, and boom, all all that falls under there. Moving on. Oh, and then on here it says, key concept, consider yourself and your strength, then analyze available jobs. Attempt to match the two of your greatest personal satisfaction. All right, moving on. Choosing a place of employment. Many factors must be considered when choosing possible places of employment. The first job may not be perfect. It may not be the perfect job. Consider what is most important and choose the best job available. Now, when you look at box 102-1, it lists specific items to consider when choosing where your ass want to work. Try to match skills, needs, and personal goals with available positions such as well as much as possible. So let's go to that box 1002-1 and let's read it. We're gonna go back up. This box is called Factors to Consider When Looking for a Place of Employment in the new book on page 1882. So it says personal factors, child care hours, personal like highlight that whole box. We need to know all these, and I'm gonna go through it. So, factors to consider when looking for a place of employment. Personal factors. So, the child care, the hours, the personal career and educational goals, distances, whether distance from the home, um, ease of travel, including parking or public transportation, quality of care. That's going to be the client safety, means of quality assessment, legal support, average daily client load per nurse, and non-nurse duties expected of nurses. Teamwork. Now, teamwork is going to be collegially, general work climate, respect among coworkers, participation in quality improvement. And let me see what the collegial is, what it means, because I ain't never seen it before. First time in my life. Collegiality. Oh, baby. Collegiality. Mm-mm. I'm saying that shit wrong. Hold on. Collegiality. There we go. This word means belonging or relating to a college. Uh-uh. Wow. This means companionship and cooperation between colleagues. Share responsibility. I still ain't never said the word. That's a teamwork. That's basically collegiate, whatever. Working with your coworkers, with your peers, with your colleagues, with your colleagues. Okay, that's for the teamwork. Moving on. Type of facility. So basically, type of facility is going to be the client care, the research, teaching, nonprofit, uh, proprietary, small, large presence or absence of nursing and other students. Now, available shifts, that's going to be day, night, full time, part time, permanent shifts, assignments, or rotating shifts. Flexibility of honoring special hours, requests, mandatory double shifts, length of shifts, choices of 8, 10, 12-hour shifts, special incentives such as Baylor plan or weekly contracts, bonuses, options for share positions, chances for advancement and leadership opportunities. Going to be available teaching and committee, well, I mean committee opportunities, use of computers and daily care, documentation, ordering treatments and medication, calling up info, email, internet access. Then you got education opportunities and professional growth. This is internships and service, education, continuing education courses, library facilities, computer availability, and it may uh, it's also pay or reimbursement for advanced education and continuing education courses, training and use of new equipment, incentive phase for special certifications. And then when we talk about salary, it says opportunities and requirement for moving up the salary scale, shift weekends differential or weekend differential. Then it talks about the charge, nurse pay, overtime pay, job and financial security. That's all falling under salary. And next, we're talking about benefits. So that's the insurance, that's the health, general disability, life, individual, and family. Also, sick leave, vacation time, holidays, holiday bonuses, number of paid pay, well, numbers of paid holidays, and holiday back policy, paid time off, which is PTO, on-site child care, individuals, the availability of care for ill children, also adult daycare, parking, food services, workers' compensation, 401k, employer sponsors or government retirement plans, tax shelters, and profit sharing, optional assignments of benefits, optional assistance of benefits allows employees set aside a dollar amount to be used for benefits when that's not covered, such as insurance copays and deductibles, complimentary health care, glasses, dental work, or elective surgery. If the total amount is not used, the employee usually loses the unused portion at the end of the year. Next, it says ability to use sick leave time to pay for health promotions, and that would be something like health club memberships and exercise equipment. Next, it says professional feedback and evaluation. There's periodic review or peer review, status of facility, accreditation, participation of nurses in accreditation process, praise and recognition. Next, it talks about safety and security for staff. So there's parking lot escorts, assistance with assaultive clients, security in home care, providing nurse with beeper or phone for home care, panic button or dangerous unit on dangerous units, camera surveillance in dangerous areas with connection to security. Next, you got extra perks such as payment of professional dues, subscriptions to nursing journals so you can be nosy or just gain information, choir, theater groups, discount tickets, group travel, Weight Watchers, gift shop, staff tournaments, holiday teas, retirement parties, recognition for years of service, gym, health club, a swimming pool, pharmacy, credit union, payments for preventative health care, immunization programs, free or reduced rate parking, or bus passes, housing allowance, internet access, paper point leave, or options to convert to vacation time. That's the extra perk. And next, it talks about professional association membership. So that's required or voluntary, bargaining agents, and contracts for nurses. And then last, it talks about presence or absence of a nurse union requirements to a requirements to belong or pay fair share. So I will the company I'll let shit in that box. I like the whole damn box to you know what the fuck they gonna ask you about. And that was for box 102. We're still under choosing right here. Choosing a place of employment. So it says try to match skills, needs, and personal goals with available positions ASAP. Well, as much as possible, not ASAP, but as much as possible. Apply for a position. After targeting position of interest, The next step that your ass need to do is apply because competition may be fierce for the most desirable jobs. How the application process is completed can greatly affect an employer's decision about who the fuck they're gonna hire. Letter of application. The value of the letter of application, sometimes referred to as the cover letter, if it accompanies a resume, cannot be overestimated. The letter is the first thing. The letter is the first thing employers see. The application may not be considered if that person fails to have a positive effect. So you don't have a positive effect because you ain't no positive nigga. Your ass may not get that damn job. The letter may fail to have a positive effect on that employee. Remember that the focus is on convincing employers that you are the best candidate, or you can say you are the HNIC or HBIC, okay, for that job. The head nigga in charge of the head bitch in charge, baby. Or I'm in charge, like out for Hustle and Flow. But anyway, the the opening paragraph should call attention to the resume, but not repeat the information on in the resume. So that opening need to be A1. I like that because this is going to help us with our portfolio. This chapter is what's going to help us with our portfolio. If you were referred by someone, state that shit in the first sentence. Say, "What's up, baby? Such and such. What's up, baby? Such and such. She told me about this job because she know I'm the shit, and I would do damn good or be a damn good asset to this company, baby. You better look into it or get into it. You better overstand it." So anyway, the letter should be informative and concise. Limited to 2 or 3 paragraphs. Okay. Don't come up with no damn 2, 3 pages. You don't get the job. Bring your 2, 3 pages looking ass up in them. Okay. The letters of application should. Let me scroll the fuck down. Hold on. I wonder if it don't. It look like it doesn't have that in this. It's not set up like it is in our book. So I'm just gonna have to read it. Okay. Go back up. Some right here. The letter of application should state the position for which you are applying and how to find and how your ass found out about the job. How the fuck you found out about it? Okay. Next, the letter should explain briefly. I like this, y'all, and put a star by it. Don't help with the portfolio. The letter should state the position for which you are applying and how you found out about it. Explain briefly why you feel you are qualified and what special skills and attributes you bring to the position. Describe applicable job experience, skills, and education. Remember to include volunteer positions, okay? Conclude by informing the employee of availability for a personal interview and for employment and the easiest method for contact. If being submitted by mail, print out the letter nearly on conservative stationery and enclose it along with a concise, up-to-date personnel resume. If through internet or fax, include the cover letter with the resume. Nursing alert, do not submit a handwritten letter or resume. Don't do that. The cover letter should not be more than 1 page. You need to know that. New book, circle that nursing alert. Um, in the old book, it's a key concept. It's a key concept, but I will highlight it. So in the old book, it's a key concept, but in the new book, it's not. It's the next thing I'm gonna read. It says, if access to a high quality printer is not available or knowledge about composing an appropriate resume is lacking. Use a professional resume service. Such services can help compose and print a professional looking resume at a relatively low cost. It is recommended that you use bullet points to accent your skills and how they would be beneficial to the position which you're applying. Highlight that whole thing. And then highlight the next sentence, which is your communication skills will usually be judged by the quality of your letter. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about these resumes. I told y'all this is shit we learning right here about these resumes. We almost done this stuff. Oh my god, knock this whole out. Of resumes are one of them is emphasizing strength and ability. Then the other one is listing experience chronologically, meaning it's going to be in order or in a sequence. So let me highlight this. Highlight that first sentence. When seeking a first nursing position, usually the second type is used, which is the listing experience chronologically. But when you become a nurse, that's what's going to emphasize and ability because you've been a nurse. So you can say, boom, baby, I know how to account for the up a quarter cattle and dingling in 2.3 motherfucking seconds. It won't be like that. But you want to emphasize shit like this. You know what I'm saying? So, um, well, I can stick an enema so far up somebody's ass, baby, they gonna be shitting at the blink of an eye. You know, you just wanna let them know where I can. You wanna list education, previous employment, and um, highlight. I will highlight this section. We said when seeking the first nursing position, usually the second type is. So that's what we're going to be doing as far as I know in classes. List education and previous employment and relevant experience. Know that we're highlighted. In stating information, this is like a guide right here for the resume. In stating information about education, list schools, their entries, diplomas, or degrees received. Most recent first. Most recent first. I like that. It gotta be the most recent first. And life certain certificate and in what state. They can be omitted. This work, well, I guess you don't have to say. This work experience. I'm gonna highlight this. I'm I'm always I'm gonna have to go back and read this paragraph. List work experience with the most recent position. First, name of the faculty, the dates employed, the title of position, and supervisor's name, address, emails, the supervisor's name, address, emails, and or telephone numbers. Identify special skills, training, honors, or volunteer positions, and be sure to provide reference. You attend your nursing program immediately after high school. Strive honors and leadership held in high school. Okay? Include part-time jobs and volunteer activities. Many nursing programs offer guidelines on what to include in a good resume. They also may have keyboarding and printing services available for students and graduates. 102 dash 2 is going to give further tips for composing a resume. So highlight that sentence right there. And then go hit a box 102 in your book. That's it. Guidelines for writing an estimate. A resume. Clearly list name, mailing address, telephone numbers, home phone number, and your cell phone, including emails, address, and fax numbers. You want to state your career objectives. Be positive. Do not mention shortcomings. That ain't none of their motherfucking business. Be specific and accurate. Make sure no errors exist in dates or, well, in dates of employment or school. And make sure there are no typos or spelling errors. Use a spell check. Also check grammar. Be creative. Be brief. Keep one damn page if possible. Print out nearly, print out neatly. And also a handwritten resume is usually not accepted. Oh, I'll take your ghetto ass up in there. You already know. Especially me. I write like a fucking serial killer. What I look like taking a handwritten ass. Anyway, space the resume so it looks attractive. Use a high quality printer. Print an original and a copy for your files. Do not send a carbon copy to photocopy. Use white bond paper. If you apply for a second position, make another damn copy stating the job objective. Special tips. Briefly state special circumstances while in school. I work 20 hours a week, commuted 50 miles, perfect attendance, high grade point average, special awards, participation in government board activities. Emphasize the past 5 years. What the fuck has been like for you? Include non-nursing and related volunteer positions. If a veteran lists length of service, branch of service, and rank, be sure to indicate health related experience such as medical tech, state honorable discharge. This membership to organization and offices held include nursing and community organizations, which is a limited number. And then you want to list selected special interests and skills. If you're fluent in language other than English, state that shit. List references on separate sheets. References are not always sent with the resume. Be sure to contact references and get permission to list. Don't be put people name down. They be like, who? When the damn job call. Who? Who? Don't do that. Do not list personal data such as married or single numbers of children, age, sex, or religion. Because a job ain't supposed to know. You're not supposed to talk about that. You want to, a professional looking photograph may be included, but is usually not recommended. It is illegal for prospective employers to require a photo or to ask personal questions. Have another person read and react to the resume before sending it. If necessary, rearrange the resume or emphasize specific factors to fit the needs of different employers. Okay? And that is all for the resume. Let's get into the interview. What may happen? This was gonna go down in the interview. Routine procedures usually include a personal interview with a prospective employer. It is important to prepare for the interview by slow down, by finding out as much about the position as you know the faculty as possible. For the interview, wear tailored conservative clothes. I'm coming up with no too big ass church suit on or no Easter Sunday dress, cane under it. Don't do that. So you want to dress suitable and simple jewelry. Don't come up in there with your earrings say love or bitch or something. Not oh, house not oh, no. um, for the interview. So we're gonna have to I'm skip because he's talking about go to figure 102. Oh, well look at the figure right here. It's, so you see this African American young fella right here. He look like he really gonna get the job. Grandma bought him them shoes. That's his daddy tie. His mama found this outfit from Ross. And she got the bag from a garage sale. And she look like she finna be a goddamn go on the airplane. Anyway, she looked just like a stewardess off the damn airplane. But hey, she dresses for success. Um, so it says how you dress for a personal interview makes an instant first impression. Go in there with some tight ass clothes on if you want to. Go in there with some tight ass clothes on. Okay? Go in there with this shirt halfway bent down. I mean, button halfway button, big titty showing. See what happens. See if you get the job. See if you get the job. Here's the man Like I told you, got on his tie, his daddy tie, got on his little dress shoes and shit, got a belt on. He ain't gang banging, tagging around his hoe. He ain't got all that hair in his face, you know, clean shaven. The woman got on her stewardess outfit, got on her stocking. She ain't got on no big ass earrings. Got a little makeup on, not too much. They both of them carrying briefcase. Don't go in there with no damn phone. Don't go in there with all them fucking papers in your hand. Get you a briefcase from the garage sale. They be like $1. Oh, well, let me go back there. What the fuck I mean? Okay. Talking about this interview. Talking about this funk ass interview. Be sure shoes are neat and clean and polished if necessary. Avoid extremes in makeup and nail polish. Don't put that fucking drag RuPaul drag race ass makeup in your face. Clean and neatly styled hair and clean. Okay. No red and blue and purple hair and big ass hair. Don't do that. Do that when you get the job. Don't go in there with them long ass fingernails on. Do that when you fit. No, you shouldn't do that when you get the job. Don't do that. I'll just have fucking regular clear polish on my damn nails. Men should be clean shaven, like we said about this African American young fella in the picture with his daddy town. With his short haircut, don't go in there with no big ass ludicrous back in the day ass afro, and a minimum of jewelry or recommended. Don't go in there with your fucking mouthpiece in, too big ass mouthpiece, with your veneers in to go in there. Facial tongue piercing, go in there with that facial tongue piercing if your ass is a job. And more than 2 ear piercings are not recommended. Practice giving a firm handshake. That means squeeze the hand, not just, don't break the motherfucking hand, just squeeze it like, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time, ma'am, or whoever. Remember, the first impression is made in just a few seconds. Arrive at least 5 minutes early. Get there earlier than that for the interview. Make a practice run the day before so you know where the fuck you're going and where the park at and where the fuck you're going. Arriving late, your ass, that shit negative than motherfucker. You might not get the job. You might well call and say, bitch, I ain't coming. All right. The nursing transcript can be brought to the interview. If it is in a narrative form, you may need to interpret it if asked. Okay, what the fuck I mean? Shit. Oh, I'm somewhere from here. Uh, oh shit. Let's see. It's a calmly. Okay, right here. Right here. Calmly. You'll be asked to sign a release that permits the potential employer to contact your reference. It is illegal for schools or individuals to release info about what the fuck got going on without the person's written consent. Proof of citizenship, legal residence, or a work permit, a green card is necessary to work in the U.S. You should also bring a form of photo ID, your social security card, just in case your ass get hired, CPR card, evidence of negative PPD or chest x-ray exams, and nursing license if received. You may be asked to sign a release for a background check. A prospective employer is interested in past employment, school record, punctuality, attendance record, ability to work with others, teamwork, okay? Willingness to accept assignments and reactions in emergency. So it's talking about getting to box 102-3, this one right here, and it's on page 1884 in our book. What it does is it's gonna list the guidelines for the job interview. And it be so let me read that before I go to the prepared. So Let's get into it. We're almost done. We got number one page. So, prepare for an interview. Practice today. Let me make it smaller so all this on this page. Right here. Damn. Just look at you down, bro. Okay. Prepare for the interview. So what you're gonna do is practice against self-confidence. Find out who will be doing the interview and memorize the interview name. Get plenty of sleep the night before and have tissues or cough drops available if you dress neat and conservatively to project a professional look. If a smoker, don't go in there smelling like no Benson and Hedges or no Cool Baby or Pall Mall. Ask someone else to check. Ask someone else to check those stink breath. You can ask me because the Lord has blessed me with, a nice size. Now I can't hear you. I tell everybody I can't hear you. But these nostrils smell your damn breath in your ass. Wear a minimum of jewelry. Don't go in there with no fake ass nails on, with some bright ass hot colors. This shit ain't recommended. And shoes need to be clean, if necessary, polished. Recommended to remove visible piercings, other than a pair of earrings. Write down questions and review them ahead of time. Take notes um, during the interview. Be sure to arrive a few minutes early. Do your homework on the agency before going in. Know about the agency. Be able to ask intelligent questions. Let me ask no dumbass questions. Uh, what a cafeteria and what time the lunch? What time they open the no, it's no dumbass question. Know in advance how to handle difficult questions such as why do you want me to work here? What can I offer? Well, hold on. You ain't gonna ask like that. Why do you want to work here? They ask you that. What can you offer us? What's your strength? What is unique about you? What are your weaknesses? What was your biggest mistake? What are your long-term career goals? What was the last book you read or your favorite? How do you handle conflict? How would you describe your proficiency in spoken or written English or the prevailing language of the South or the facility? If you have held a number of positions, let the employers know in a positive way why you changed jobs. For example, to accept a promotion, higher pay, or to return to school. Employers are often wary about a person who seems to be a motherfucking job hopper. Okay? If there are any gaps in your damn job experience or your education, be prepared to tell them what the fuck happened in a positive way. For example, I had to take care of them young ass children to obtain further education. Okay? Be prepared to answer questions about technical competence. The employer may ask about experience with specific nursing procedures or with particular types of clients. Be honest about your skills. Don't be making shit up and lying. State that you would appreciate in service education and procedure if you are not comfortable. Be aware that most interviewers they will offer to shake hands. Make sure you give a firm handshake. Don't crush these people's hand and you get sued and don't get the job. Don't go in there wanting to be incredible hope so fucking bad. Use your whole hand, not just your fingertips. If you like me, I don't really like shaking people's hands. You know what I'm saying? Because we digging their ass, and stretch balls, and this. So just wash your hands out. I just don't like wash. I don't like touching people's hands. Let the interviewer indicate where to sit. When you go in there, hi, how are you? You shake that damn hand tightly and you stand your ass there. You wait to sit until the interview has been seated. You don't go in there and just sit down. Like, okay. You look at the seat, but don't sit your ass down. And they're like, have a seat. Then you sit your ass down. I'm going that's flopping your big ass up in that person's seat. They be like, not there. Not there. Or you sit down in their chair and their fucking legs break on you. So don't do it. Put purse or briefcase on the floor. Don't do that. Not on the interviewer's desk. Do not bring both purse and briefcase. This is courtesy. I don't put no purse on the floor. So I'm just gonna have to bring a briefcase because I don't do that. Sit up straight. Keep your hands folded on the lap or in front on the table. If possible, leave your damn big ass coat outside in the interview room. But if it's a motherfucking meat, you probably won't leave that hoe in the car to avoid having to take it out and then having to find a place to put it. Do not smoke or chew gum. Don't come in there stinking and chewing gum. Now, if your breath stink, get you one of the little Listerine things. Make sure not to have stinking ass breath. Oh, don't have no stinking stuff doing no eating. Do not accept coffee or food. No, no, I'm good. No, no. Accept that coffee, see if your stomach don't get the bubbling in the motherfucking they got go shit. Um, and then they got food in your teeth while you trying to do a fucking interview. Don't accept that. See, I had already ate before you brought your ass. Look at the person with speaking, but do not say. Listen carefully to questions and think before talking. Do not act as though getting this job is absolutely critical. Inform the interviewer of any special preferences, but do not exaggerate. Let the employer know about any computer expertise or experience. Do not talk too much. Give concise answers, and when finished with an answer, stop and let the interviewer resume with further questions. Be prepared. Ask pertinent questions, for example, about the specific job description, as well as about opportunities for advancement, evaluation policies, and available in-service education or tuition reimbursement. If what actually there is a formal employment contract, if the salary and benefits are not known, ask these damn questions last. Don't go in there. So how much I'm gonna make? The first goddamn question. If that shit be last. Do not complain about previous employers. Don't do it. I did that when I tried to get a job and I was still working there trying to get a job at Dennis. I was like, why the fuck I ain't get that call? I was young, dumb, didn't know. I was like 19. Think of any previous positions in the post, I mean in the most positive way possible. You want to avoid the use of negative terms and responses. Speak of challenges and opportunities instead of problems. So I just had a bunch of problems at that job. No, yeah, it was a little challenging, shit like that. Thank the interviewer for his or her time. Use the person's name with Mr. or Miss. Never use the interviewer's first name. Bring your nursing license, school transcript, record of TB test, driver license, birth certificate, passport, or residence alien card, CPR card, and social card in cases any are needed. I'm gonna circle that because this is what Ms. Johnson told us we need to have. So y'all need to start getting y'all shit together on that one. If written evaluations from previous employment, even if not nursing related or available, find the damn copies of them to leave with the interviewer. It is good to show a good previous work history, whether in nursing related jobs or not. If possible, have letters of reference already written to leave with this. This will save them the first way. This will save them the time of contacting the reference. If letters of reference are not available, have a neat list of names, addresses, professional positions, and telephone numbers of reference readily available to leave with interviewers. Contact those references in advance. If currently employed, be prepared to tell the interviewer if it is acceptable to call the current employer. Be sure to ask the current employer ahead of time. Ask the interviewer when notifications about the position will be made and starting date. Let's go back. So that was that somewhere right here. Make sure you be prepared to answer the damn following question. What shift your ass want to work? Will you work part time? Hold down. What are your rotation choices? What are your rotation choices? Day, night, afternoon. What salary do your ass expect about this job? Remember that most beginning nursing positions require rotating or night shifts and often working every other damn weekend. Many facilities require medical, surgical, nursing experiences before being assigned to a specialty area, such as OB and or psychiatry. And okay, interview. Now we're talking. Okay, so um, in the new book, it's talking about interviewing for a job. It says when preparing a list of references for an interview for a job in healthcare facility, the nurse should contact the reference in advance and then place the list of references on a separate sheet of paper, not within the body of the resume. So highlight that because you need to know that for when you do a resume. When it's time to do that, you get our portfolio, you know, situated. And a nursing alert is right here, be prepared to be interviewed by a committee or to have the interview tape recorded or videotape. Make sure you're making eye contact with the members of the interview team. Shake hands firmly with each and use their names. Just remember, just remember. Informational interview. Even if facility has no position available, a member of the Human Resources Department may be willing to conduct an informational interview. Okay, so in my book is saying, yeah, that's what it says. So what we're gonna highlight from it now, I ain't been highlighting. Let's go back to the interview. We got to highlight this shit. Of course, we're gonna look at shit like that and stuff like this. Also read that. Um, right here, interview. So you need to highlight. It is important to prepare for the interview by finding out as much about the position. Position in the faculty as possible, and then highlight what you should wear. The first and then highlight. It says, remember the first impression is made in just a second. You ain't gotta highlight that. Make a practice run day before, arriving late. Okay. Just highlight the word interview. All that's important. All that's important. Okay. And just everything that falls on the interview, even that informational interview, that's important. Just highlight all that. Let's talk about the application forms. I think I read all this shit. I don't know. Application forms. As part of the job seeking process, a prospective employee is almost always required to fill out the application form. In filling out a standard application form, have your social security number, resume, and nursing license, if received, available. Properly worded responses with careful, neat handwriting or printing in ink make a favorable um, impression. Emphasize computer skills. Employers often use the way, employers often use the way in which an individual completes an application as one of the criteria for evaluation of the person as a prospective employer. Think before writing and be neat. Just take your damn time. I know how I write. I just gotta take my time. Be prepared to give references to potential employers. Have the addresses and telephone numbers of the individuals acting as references neatly printed. Always contact these references in advance to ask permission before listing them. May I list your name on my resume for a positive reference? So that's for the application form. So I think you should know that too. So just highlight that whole word application form, highlight it. Testing, highlight that. And it said testing in some instances, the prospective applicants may be used to take aptitude tests or baseline tests in subjects such as medication administration. You may also be asked to demonstrate some basic nursing skills such as measuring blood pressure. Relax and try not to be fucking anxious. Generally, it is best not to change a test answer after it is written. For taking a time test, go through the entire test as quickly as possible, answering the questions now. Then go back and try to do that other shit that you wasn't really familiar with. Do not spend too much fucking time on any one item. Talk about the follow up after the interview. After the interview, follow up with a letter thanking the person for his or her time and stating your interest in the position. Briefly restate your qualifications. Be sure this letter is neat as the letter of application. Write the thank you letter within 24 hours. Should highlight that. Highlight the follow up after the interview. And physical examination. Nearly all employers require negative drug testing as a condition of employment and may require routine spot checks throughout the employee's tenure. Expect to sign a release for this info. A urine sample will be collected in a carefully controlled environment. Future employees will often be required to pass a physical exam. This will include TB, which is TBD testing, and ECG, hearing and vision screening, and lab and other testing. Many employers draw a blood sample to keep frozen for conditions such as HIV. This will not be used unless the employee later files a claim stating that he or she contracted HIV. While working at the facility, specific immunizations may be required for all employees. Many employers require background check before employment. This will include such things as a criminal record, including convictions for DUIs or as a sex offender. So that is for the drug testing and examination. A key concept to remember, many employers require a background check before employment to include such as a criminal record, including conviction as a sex offender. So you need to highlight that. Highlight that in the book. It's a key concept in the old book. So highlight the last two sentences in that paragraph for drug testing and physical exam. Accepting the position. When an individual say, hell yeah, I'm gonna take that position, he or she is entering into a damn agreement. Be familiar with pertinent personal policies. Every institution establishes local personal policies, although there are many commonalities. Salaries may vary according to a facility size, type, and location. Salaries are usually higher in large cities and in certain parts of the country. Government hospitals, like the Veterans Administrations, county, states, and universities hospitals, they may offer higher salaries than do private hospitals or extended care facilities. Keep that in mind. Clinic and home care tends to have lower salaries than hospitals, but often have the advantages of daytime hours and minimum weekend assignments. Larger facilities may offer extra compensation to nurses who have additional education. Additional responsibilities and higher pay may be available based on nurses' education level and length of service. Most facilities have a graduated salary schedule, and credit may be given for previous experience. Sometimes the bonus is paid to new employers hired for difficult to fill positions. When offered a position, the nurse is usually given a day or two to make a decision. If offered more than one position, it is important to notify each employer the final of the final position, including positions declined. Don't just leave them hanging like I ain't going. Can't be doing shit like that. Like I would do that if it was working like Family Dollar, shit like that. But this is the nursing. Don't do folk like that because they gonna remember. Bitch, you remember that time? If you go to the first job that you choose, you like fuck y'all hoes, and you quit that job, then you try to see, let me see if I can get this job. I should have took that job anyway. And then you go and fill out another application at the job, and they be like, remember that time how we calling you and we hired you? You didn't answer. Fuck you, hoe. That's how it's gonna go. So make sure keep it real with these folks. If another job, you got the job somewhere else. So like I said, for accepting the position, what we need to highlight out of that is, let's see, just know you're entering into an agreement when you accept a position. You need to be familiar with the pertinent policies. And at the end, when a position got about a day or two to make sure they are mind up, and if you don't want the job, and you end up taking another job, decline that job. And then it say most facilities have a graduated salary schedule, and credits may be given for previous experience. Sometime if only paid to new hire. I'm not gonna hire. I mean, I'm hired it. I'm not gonna highlight. Almost done. Contract and agreement. When accepting a position, the nurse should notify the employer ASAP. Make sure you both agree on factors such as hours, salaries, starting dates, and benefits. Highlight first two sentences so y'all can be on one accord. In some facilities, time off is combined as paid time off. Yeah. So highlight that too. This includes vacation, highlight that, sick leave, and holidays. This can be advantage or disadvantage. Some salaries and benefits information is presented as a contract or letter of agreement to be signed. It is a good idea to write a letter of acceptance to verify the start date, shift to be worked, salary benefits, and other pertinent info. Moving on. What the fuck did I just read? Oh, that's right here. So now we're talking about the salary. Okay, I guess it's gonna be somewhere up in this. It's gonna have to fall somewhere up in here. Different in the book. Salary and contract negotiation. Some hospital systems. Do I see that somewhere? Yeah, it's right here. Right here. Some hospital systems or cities have a standard nurses contract renegotiated on a regular basis. The term and conditions are written, but in some cases cannot be negotiated individually. Recently, nurses groups are negotiating working conditions and client safety as well as salaries. Some nursing contracts allow nurses to determine when a unit or hospital can no longer accept new clients because of the staff shortage. Most nursing contracts forbid mandatory overtime. Some facilities are considered union, the local units of the ANA, which is American Nursing Association, often serve as a negotiating agent for RNs and sometimes for LPNs. Some situations, these nurses have gone on strike, but nurses in safety net hospitals, um, the safety net hospitals, those providing emergency care for the area are often not allowed to strike. So once again, salaries and contract negotiations. But you need to highlight out of that. Just know the whole thing. We'll say salary and contract negotiation. As far as right here, all that need to be, you need to know all of that. I would. Employ employer responsibilities. The number is responsible for, I'm sorry, the employer is responsible for providing a safe working environment, which highlight the employer responsibilities. Highlight the word employer responsibilities. You need to know all of that. So we need to be, the employer is responsible for providing a safe working environment which is free from unusual dangers and observed conditions such as OSHA guidelines and provide SDS information sheets indicating hazards in the area, is safe regarding protection from assaults by clients, is not discriminatory, negotiates in good faith, does not allow sexual or other forms of harassment, does not interfere with legal rights of employees, provides regular employees evaluation, follow federal, state, and local guidelines on pay hours, hours worked, break time, and time out, provide a grievance, mediation, and arbitration, arbitration process for dispute, follows due process in all dealing with employees, offers assistance and guidance in the case of unfounded legal action against nurse, provides a health search or some means for employees to obtain minimal health care immunization screening. Employee responsibility. It's important to know what is expected of employees before accepting a position. All employers have the right to expect that employees will. I like what the hell we gonna do? Or what the employer's gonna do? Work on the side. Okay, all employers have the right to expect that us, employees will. Work on the side days and report on time. Don't come up in that bitch late. Call in sick only when truly ill. Don't be lying, ho. And then they look on Facebook and working in Mexico somewhere. Maintain client confidentiality. Will not accept client choice without a specific need to do so. You're fine being known. Practice within the parameters of their license and within the limit of individual training and experience. Seek assistance if needed. Utilize nursing protocols. Practice with integrity. I mean, honest documentation. Don't be lying talking about restoration is 12 when restoration is fucking 2. Observation if appropriate. Client nurse boundaries. Proper care and administration of medication and immediate reporting of medication errors, injuries, or incidents. Observe the regulation of the facility regarding matters such as continuing education or participation in committees. Maintaining the nursing license and other required certificates such as CPD testing and CPR certification. Practice as a collaborative member of the healthcare team. Follow rules and guidelines of the facility. I like the whole damn thing is thank employee responsibility. After obtaining the position, how an employee well, how an individual functions after being hired will affect his or her professional status and references for the future. Having references increases opportunities for obtaining future positions. Chances are also greater that this individual will be recommended for leadership positions, salary advancements, and further education. Orientation. So just highlight after obtaining the position. That's important to know after you get the job. So what falls under this, let's talk about orientation. Usually provide orientation programs for new employees, such with structures and procedures about which to ensure. Your instructor or supervisor can provide knowledge, experience, and sources of info. Orientation programs include, I like this, what orientation programs include. They're going to include information about disasters, fire, and emergency call procedures. The other topics include instructions and computer documentation into, into medication, um, machines and scanners, personally, personnel, policies, evaluations, procedures, nursing protocols, facilities, organizational charts, and safety and security procedures. Internships. Recent graduate is usually required to serve a period of internship or nurse residency before being um, uh, hold on. The recent graduate is usually required to serve a period of internship or nurse residency before being considered a regular employee and a benefit earning member of the staff. So this is just a probationary period. Continuing education. The facilities provide continuing education for nurses. So ask them to take the fuck advantage of this opportunity, both for personal enhancement and to gain CEUs for license renewal. In addition, advanced education and certifications are available to LPNs in several specialty areas. Many LPNs go on to become RNs, and employers often help fund this education. Resigning from position. Yeah, baby, I quit a motherfucking job in many things. When leaving a position, the employer should be given written advance notice. Don't get a damn 2 weeks, at least a damn week, and preferable a month. Now, if I already get the fuck from up there, you're gonna be lucky to get 2 weeks. Notice gives the agency adequate time to get somebody ass self up in there and get, before you get the fuck ASAP. Advance notice requirements are sometimes stated in personal policies. A letter of resignation should be as neat and professional as was the letter of application. Customarily, if an individual leaves before the designated time or without notice, that person will be paid up to the time of departure only. Although it is generally illegal to give a poor reference, the employers may refuse to give a reference or may give an obviously neutral reference for the nurse who leaves a job without proper notice or whose performance has not been satisfactory. Try not to burn them damn bridges. Do not burn no damn bridges. Continue your professionalism. Try not to now. Try not to burn bridges. You said try not. You didn't say just don't. Don't. Try not to. Continue your professionalism at all times and lead in a positive manner. One never knows when a reference might be needed or when one might wish to motherfucking return. Okay, but when I resigned from the job, this thing trying to return. So what I will highlight from the last little bit of this, because this is it, did it. I made it through. I will highlight this internship, highlight this shit, highlight continuing education, because that's important to know, and highlight resigning from a position. Pretty much highlight all that. Pretty much highlighted the topics under accepting the position, because all that shit is really important to know. So that's it. Get your study, get your notepad out, take notes. Bye.